Beetlejuice is the titular main character of the movie franchise of the same name. And the main things you need to know is that Beetlejuice is dead and that he has this thing where you say his name 3 times and then he shows up. So here's how to be Beetlejuice in Magic the Gathering. It's pretty cool. So before we can get into the meat and potatoes, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. I'm an avocado talking about magic. It's pretty freaking cool. Now, as I mentioned before, Beetlejuice, he's dead. Rest in peace. So our commander, obviously, is a bunch of dead guys. Obsidat Ghost Council, 1 white, black, Spirit Advisor, because he's dead, get it? When he enters the battlefield, target opponent loses 2 life, and we gain 2 life. At the beginning of our end step, we may exile them. If we do, return it to the battlefield under our control at the beginning of the next upkeep. It gains haste. So if you have 3 opponents, that's after 3 turns, bing, bada, boom. Yeah, it's pretty good. Now, we're being lore accurate. So, of course, just like any good graveyard or high school wrestling team, this deck got worms. See what I did there? Anyway, Massacre Worm, 3 and 3 black, enters the battlefield. Creatures your opponents control get -2/-2, and whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, that player loses 2 life. It's basically the sandworm from the movie. It's good. We throw in some other worms like Worm Coil Engine, 6 mana, 6/6, Death Touch lifelink. It's really good. And then there's the sequel, which is not quite as good. Worm Coil Larva, 5 mana, does the same thing but splits into weaker tokens. It's pretty cool. We throw in some other like kind of bad worms like Elder Landworm, who's more of a dragon than the snake thing, but he's 7 mana, trample, cannot attack until he's a blocker, which is neat. And Salt Skidder, 3 and a white. Whenever another creature comes into play, remove Salt Skidder from the game, and then we bring it back. It's basically like Norin the Wary, but a worm, which is cool. Now, of course, we also throw in some spirits like King of the Oathbreaker, 2 white-black. Whenever he or another spirit becomes the target of a spell, it phases out. That's pretty good. Our main guys are spirits. And then whenever he faces back in, we create a tapped 1/1 white spirit creature token. That's cool. And then we can sacrifice them with the other Ghost Council of Oraz, Ors, Hova, whatever. White, black. We can pay a mana, sacrifice it, and then bring it back every turn, which is cool. Now on to the meat and potatoes of the deck. You waited all this time. We're going to be doing Approach of the Second Sun. 6 and a white. If it was cast from your hand and you've cast another spell named Approach of the Second Sun, we win the game. Otherwise, put it into our library 7th from the top and we gain 7 life. But you might notice we only have to cast it twice, and twice is less than the Beetlejuice number. So, what are we going to do? Beetlejuice never says his name twice and then shows up. No, it's never twice, except for the time it is twice in the movie poster. But don't worry about that. The answer is simple. We're just going to Lapse of Certainty our own spell. It's 2 and a white, counter target spell. If it's countered, put it on top of its owner's library instead of into that player's graveyard. So now basically what we can do is we can cast Approach of the Second Sun, shuffle it 7th from the top, draw it, play it, cast it, bing, bada, boom. Don't let it resolve. Lapse of Certainty, shuffle it back, draw it, cast it. 3rd time is the charm, and we win. Boom. Now, you might not be impressed with that. You might be like, is that it? Is it just a Approach of the Second Sun win condition? Of course not. Because instead, we're going to turn ourselves into Beetlejuice. Morty, we're going to turn ourselves into the guy. All right, how is this going to work? Well, step 1 is obviously we're going to cast Teferi's Protection. 2 and a white instant until our next turn. Our life total can't change, and we gain protection from everything, and all our permanents phase out. That's phase 1. And then we're going to do something cool by casting Eater of Days. He is 4 mana for a Leviathan. When he comes into play, we skip our next 2 turns. So then it takes 3 times to come back. I'm kind of a genius. So we don't exist. Our life total can't change until the start of our 3rd turn, because it goes to our turn, skip, our 2nd turn, skip, and then finally our 3rd turn, we phase back in and boom, bada bing. It's like they said our name 3 times. It's pretty cool. So in summary, here's what's going to happen. We're going to have our Ghost Council that phases in and out and does stuff in every 3 turns. It's cool. And then we're going to have a bunch of worms that do a bunch of cool stuff for us. And then, we're going to cast Approach of the Second Sun, not once, not twice, but 3 times, because we're really good. And then we're going to have enough time to go down to the grocery store, grab some milk, and be back in time to phase back in after our Teferi's Protection Eater of Days combination is finally done. It's sweet, okay? That's the end of the video. If you liked it, leave a like. If you subscribe, subscribe. If you have extra money lying around, donate to the children in Palestine using the link in the description down below. And hey, I have a Discord. We hang out. It's fun. It's cool. Join that as well in the description down below. And what do you think? Did you watch the new Beetlejuice movie? What'd you think? Are you more of a old school or new school kind of person? And I hope to see you in the next one. Peace out.